welcome back to episode 3 of Holding Court with the Nerd Queens.
We've got about 2 weeks and 2 days of a delay, so sorry about that.
Life happens sometimes.
Anyway, given that, we've got a lot to talk about, so let's just kick it off. Let's start with obvious news. Captain Marvel went to the theaters yesterday or the day before.
Yes, it went into theaters yesterday, which was International Women's Day.
Yes, that was big day. Anyway, obviously we both want to see it, and while not giving you any spoilers because it seems a little too early for that, we just let's just give you some review from what we thought about it. So
spoiler-free as possible. Yeah. So basically, I liked it. I did. There was a few things I didn't like. There was one part that really set off the rage in me. But otherwise, it was fun to watch. There was some laughing moments that actually felt funny.
I found it very meh. Like, it was a okay film. I enjoyed myself going there. I would not go again. As far as cinema goes, I might just watch it when it comes out on DVD, whatever. But it's not like a film that I would like to come back to. It wasn't something that would be somewhat memorable. That said, I did have one moment in the film which I thought that has the potential to be memorable, but it wasn't because it was ruined by this very cliche kind of need to put some words in it. Sometimes it was sometimes some things are better to, stay without words. But otherwise, I mean, I enjoyed it. It just wasn't anything to write home about, so to speak.
Yeah, as cringeworthy as he could be sometimes, seeing a young Nick Fury before he's been fighting battles with S.H.I.E.L.D. was really fun because Samuel Jackson was just so lovable and goofy.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to me, to be honest. But
well, yeah, because we got used to a certain way of being.
Yeah. I also felt like this was not a lot, but more than other films. Kind of, there were a lot of nods towards America in 90s and stuff like that, the whole era kind of thing. So there were a little subtle hints and jokes that were on the screen for people to see, but then again, I think that that's going to miss the target with a lot of people in the world, aside from actual America.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the whole Blockbuster thing was pretty hysterical for, for those of us who grew up going to Blockbuster.
Yeah, I mean, I've never actually been to a Blockbuster. I didn't know it existed until I moved to the States, and you kindly showed me it existed. So there's that. But yeah.
And not to worry, there was a cameo by Stan Lee. And actually, what I didn't know at the time was that in the cameo, he's reciting lines from a movie, and it turns out he was reading a script from Mallrats by Kevin Smith. So Kevin Smith took to Twitter last night to talk about how emotional that made him after years of, as he put it, after years of referencing the movies. The movies referenced me, and it was my idol who was reading the words I'd written. So that was a really, it was a brief moment, and like always, the cameo was tugging at your heartstrings, and now that he's dearly departed, it was nice to see his face again for a moment.
Yeah, it was a nice touch. Also, what was a nice touch was the welcome screen.
Yeah, when they do the logo, where they flip the comic book pages instead of using the heroes, it was all of Stan Lee's cameos, which was really sweet.
Yes. So the film has 2 after-credit scenes, as per usual with Marvel.
Yeah, so stick around.
Yeah. The first one's super important super important. It is important for the end game. So it's definitely worth sticking around for. The second one is...
It's a little silly.
Yeah. So if you're in a hurry, you're not going to miss that. You're not going to miss out on much there, but you're going to miss a lot on the first after credit scene if you miss that. So definitely stick around. And I think that's kind of
all that we can really talk about
this without giving out much.
Yeah, without giving out too many spoilers.
Obviously, it's a season of Captain Marvel because we all know Shazam's coming out in a month. For some of us, the real Captain Marvel. I made that reference, by the way, in the cinema. And my companions did not understand me, so I kind of walked away and just let it be. I hope I'll convince them to come with me, though.
There's some bit, in the strain of talking about Captain Marvel, there's some big controversy going on right now that'll be interesting to see what comes of it with the whole drama surrounding Rotten Tomatoes, how they are deleting audience reviews if they're too negative towards Captain Marvel. And
honestly, at this point, not at this point. As DC fans know not to really take to Rotten Tomatoes, but I just find it funny. I think that the whole damage control about this whole Captain Marvel issue is just getting worse and worse and worse progressively.
Definitely.
Starting with Brie Larson hating on white men all the way through the Rotten Tomatoes. Then there was that whole post on Twitter which went off from Stan Lee's official account. They're just not doing it right, let's face it.
Oh, definitely. Though apparently there was a deep dive by a journalist to explain that Brie Larson never said that one comment, but we're just going to leave that off to the side and let someone else report on it.
Yeah, no, I mean, whether she said it or not, the point is that it just appeared online and it went crazy and everybody...
Yeah, exactly.
...pointed towards that one thing. And whether it's true or not, you have to somehow try and level the damage somewhere, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, exactly.
It just seems like the whole thing keeps rolling and rolling in avalanche, so we'll see if it actually hurts the film or not. So far, I mean, based on my own experience, the cinema was pretty full, so it doesn't seem like it's hurting it. We'll see.
Yeah, the cinema for even an early afternoon showing that I took my brothers to was pretty full. There were people laughing, cheering, there was clapping, so it seems to be going well.
Yeah, I think that we'll see more as the weeks go by, because obviously this first weekend, a lot of tickets were pre-ordered before this whole fiasco. So people might have just said, we're going to go anyway. I think it'll depend if the film is worth coming back to cinema for, maybe.
Yeah, for a second round.
So, I guess we'll see more a week or two into this whole thing. But I'd say go see it. It's fun.
Definitely a lot of fun.
It's not memorable, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely, if I were, I still need to think more about it before I can rate it. I can put it on, my top, if it hits the top 10 or not. But it definitely, I enjoyed it so much more than I do any of the Guardians of the Galaxy films or Thor Ragnarok. So,
we do not speak of Thor Ragnarok.
Yes, we don't speak of it, but I'm just speaking of it to say this was definitely better.
Yeah, anyway. Well, we can make a more detailed review in our next podcast in 2 weeks, hopefully. So that we can put some spoilers in and we can kind of add a little other stuff in there that we'd like to say, because we really do not want to spoil anything at the moment, so...
There was also, in other Marvel news, they released a new trailer for Dark Phoenix, which is the next X-Men movie.
Yes. And so far, I just see so much backlash for it online. Well, I'm kind of excited.
I'm excited too. I'm confused as hell with the timeline, and I guess, like, being a fan of the X-Men films at this point, I'm just used to being confused with the timeline. I don't know when anything's happening anymore, but I'm still excited, and I'm glad to see everyone is back reprising their roles.
See, for me, I enjoy X-Men films, but I am not, like, religiously following them, so I never actually had any sense in the timeline to begin with. So I kind of just go with the flow.
Gosh, I've watched the entire series, like, the first few films I could guess I've seen at least 20 times. And then I've been obsessed with the X-Men films for years. So, but at this point, like I said, I don't know what's going on. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, okay, we're doing something.
One film at a time.
We're doing something. But it looks really,
honestly, it looks good.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm really excited to see Sophie Turner coming back as Jean Grey and getting to really stretch her mutant muscles with the full extent of the character's power.
Yeah. I like Sophie Turner.
Yeah, she's definitely a favorite of ours. And in news related to Sophie Turner, check that segue there. We had Game of Thrones gave us a full-length trailer for the release of their final season, which is coming next month, and it looks amazing.
I genuinely don't know what else to say to that. Yeah,
like, it gave me goosebumps to watch it, and I'm just, there's little things that I'm so excited for. Like, I'm excited to see Jon reunited with Arya, because Arya showed up when he was already going off to find Daenerys.
Yeah, I'm excited. Reunion I'm excited for as well.
I'm excited for Ghost to come back, because they promised Ghost would be back. I'm excited to see Jon riding a dragon. It's so fun. It's funny because a lot of my friends are like, "I'm excited for this plot point," and I'm like, "I just want to see Jon riding a dragon." Okay.
Yeah, he can die. Nobody cares, just as long as he rides a dragon.
Well, according to sources, I forget which sources exactly, but it was all over social media a few days ago, that the producers of Game of Thrones say that the final battle will be bigger than the Lord of the Rings Battle of Helm's Deep. Up until now, like, when it came to these sort of high fantasy battles, the Battle of Helm's Deep in Lord of the Rings has been the bar. And apparently this battle will surpass the bar. So I'm even more excited. I hope they do another event where you can go see the battle in the cinema like they did a few years ago.
That would be great. Though everybody's going to die, you know that, right?
Oh, we'll see.
It's Game of Thrones.
I mean, if it ends with the Night King on the throne, I'll be like, "What the hell, guys?"
I would just kind of like leave my blanket and a pillow behind and just go, I'm out.
And
that would be like the biggest betrayal, I think.
Or like if Sam Tarley's left confused and on the throne.
I would still take that more. At least that would mean that they won.
True, very true.
Somehow. Yeah. So Game of Thrones starts on 17th of April?
I believe so.
Do I have the right dates? And how many episodes is going to be there?
I believe 10.
With one of them being 60 and the rest of them 80 minutes, I believe. So it's going to be longer episodes.
It returns April 14th.
14th. Okay. Why did I get 17th?
I have no idea.
Now I have to figure out what I have on April 17th.
So
anyway.
In other news that we got this week, it was announced by the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog that DC is bringing it big this year for Batman Love across their events for the 80 years of Batman. And there'll be panels and events at both WonderCon and San Diego Comic-Con, and also throughout major cities as the year goes on.
Yes, there will be bat symbol in the sky. There'll be races. There'll be.
I'm excited for the bat signal. It'll be in major cities across the country. I don't know if they will do it. Oh, excuse me, not across the country, worldwide. So.
Yes, come on.
That'll be exciting.
We're planning on going to MCM London still, so I wonder if by that point there will still be stuff, since it's in fall, but it would be great. I mean, we're definitely seeing it at SDCC, so that'll be a lot of fun.
They should still have events going, because Batman Day is not until the 21st of September, so they said all year long, so we have until the end of...
Okay, yeah. So in that case, I think that it would make sense to have something for MCM London, given the audience and everything. I am excited. I want to see what comes out of it.
So do I. I'm excited for anything Batman. You say Batman, and I'm there, usually. And...
Yeah, true. They usually take all the Batman merch and leave me with the Superman stuff.
Yes, mine. And so...
It's not friendship bracelets work.
Hey, you gave me a choice. You let me choose.
No, I didn't. I didn't have a choice. Let the record say I did not have a choice.
Well,
I also like Superman, but not as much as Batman.
Be that way. So San Diego, the Comic-Con International's second biggest con, that's not as big as as San Diego Comic-Con, is coming up in a few weeks. It'll be WonderCon in Anaheim, California. It's from the March 29th to the 31st. We've never been, but we do look forward to any news that'll come out of the convention.
There's usually previews for exclusives. There's it's a good con from what I've heard. Less crowded. People actually sometimes prefer to go there instead of SDCC. So, and also I think it's right across from Disneyland.
Yeah, it is. It's like quite literally down the road from Disneyland, apparently. So you can go from convention just over, go see Mickey Mouse and whatnot. So
that gives it a plus as well. So if you're heading that way, hope you enjoy it. We'll just be looking out for the news.
We'll be watching from social media.
As always, stalkers.
And
also there was a show that came out that became wildly popular. Netflix show called The Umbrella Academy.
Yes, it's very good. It's really fun. Sometimes confusing, but also fun. Yes,
I've known it from before. I've known it from comic books from a couple of years ago. Just because I was a crazy My Chemical Romance fan back in the day, and I just followed Gerard's work from there. I've never expected to be a TV show. I'll be honest. I've never expected that to become a TV show. So I was kind of fangirling over it when they announced it, and it's amazing. It's so much fun, and definitely suggest you watch it.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. At first, I was kind of like worried I wouldn't like it, but then as the episodes went on, I fell in love with the cast and everything. So if you haven't watched it yet, you definitely should.
Yeah, it's a little more bizarre than the usual comic book stuff, which seems probably a bit weird because
comic books are pretty weird.
Comic book stuff is bizarre, but this is just it's a different take, I'd say, on the things, different points of view, and it's great, really.
And
okay, so that was our Netflix suggestion of the week.
And in other news, Zack Snyder announced on his birthday, which was March 1st, that he's going to be doing an event in California for it's called Zack Snyder the Director's Cuts, and he's going to be showing the director's cuts of Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen, and Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice on different days of this one weekend, with a screening and dinner afterwards for those who can afford tickets in Pasadena. And it sounds amazingly awesome.
It's not the tickets I can't afford, it's the flights and the hotels and like everything else.
Yeah, the tickets seem actually pretty reasonable given the fact that it's like the whole event, it's like a limited panel and everything. And he'll have individuals from the cast and the crew. I'm really interested to find out who from each of his movies will be showing up, because it sounds like because he does mention in his original post about it that cast is coming. So it'll definitely be interesting for us at home watching from social media to find out. He also has a special t-shirt designed that kind of combined the details from each of those movies that he's doing through Ink Through the People.
It's got the logo of the event on the front, and it's got a quote from each film on the back. You can buy it on Ink to People. We will add a link to
definitely.
The purchase page. There should be a couple days left on that. The money from purchasing those t-shirts or shirts, because there's a long sleeve shirt as well, go again for a good cause. This time it's not the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. It's for the Arts Center College of Design,
Monsum Auditorium.
Yes. That's also what the whole screenings and everything are for as well. It's to support this cause. So if you're interested, we definitely add a link to it. You can buy the t-shirt as well if you're in the same situation like us and we'll have to just watch from the distance.
One of our friends is going, so we'll be interested. He's only going for the Batman v Superman part, so we'll be interested to hear from him how it goes and what happened there.
Yeah, but I still want to go.
Yeah, I know. And it's an event that's sponsored by Vero True Social, which, I love that app. It's it's really cool that they're coordinating with him to do this event.
Definitely. Yeah, so that's as far as the news go. I don't know if we have anything else.
No, I think that's actually that's pretty much what the major stuff that's happened these last few weeks. Other than the second half of season 3 of Shadowhunters started, and the first 2 episodes are out already, and they're very good. And they're very action-packed. There's not a moment of rest in between each of them. Gotham's leaning towards the last 3 episodes of the series, which is both exciting but sad.
Also, Stephen Amell recently announced that The Arrow will be finishing after the 8th season, which will have only short run.
Yeah, it's bittersweet. It's like, yes, it did run its course, but at the same time, I'll miss seeing Stephen as Oliver. But it is good that they get to end
my
it.
My opinion is that you shouldn't extend the show for any longer than it needs. Once it passes its welcome, it just goes down. So
I'm just hoping they'll
devise a vision, and
I'm just hoping they'll still bring the cast of Arrow back for crossovers and whatnot, because the crossovers are like the event of the fall television series for anyone who watches comic book TV shows.
That's true. I guess it depends how it actually ends. Oh. But yeah, that's as far as Arrowverse goes. Anything else, or?
No, I think we covered everything for this episode.
All right, then. So we'll hear you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you next time.